until, yell it, until his foot had slipped. He had nearly stumbled. He envied until I entered God's sanctuary. Verse 21, when my heart was bitter, when my heart was bitter, when I was cut up all inside.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Not only was my heart bitter, I was cut up on the inside.
Yes.
I was stupid and arrogant. I acted like nothing but an animal. I was so bitter in my heart and cut up on the inside that I acted like an animal. But God said, I was still always with you. I was still always with you. You held my strong hand. Now it says that upward mobility requires spectacular acts and being relevant and powerful. But as I read this scripture, I realized that in order to grow down, we must first encounter a test. And after the test, something in us begins to transform. And then there is a turn, Reverend Gray. And after the turn, there is a touch. Everybody repeat after me. Test.
Test.
Transform.
Transform.
Turn.
Turn.
Touch. You may be seated. Let us pray. I ask as you reflect with me on this passage of growing down. Dear God, we give you thanks for this day. We don't have power over yesterday. We cannot reach into tomorrow. But you have given us this day and we say thank you. We thank you.
Thank you.
For leading us down. Someone here is blinded by envy.
My Lord.
Someone here is caught up in a culture of overconsumption. Someone here is turning in on themselves. They are bitter in their heart and cut up on the inside, and when they look in the mirror, they don't see themselves. Dear God, touch us now. Turn us so that we might see another way. Allow these words to be your words, O God, and fall upon the fertile hearts of your people, such that something beautiful might take root, and we might live a life broken down.
Yeah.
In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. Now, I don't get a chance to preach very much, but I do my research, whatever I do. And Doug said, Greg, just tell a story and then sit down. Well, my granddaddy was a storyteller. He walks with the ancestors now. And I remember he'd always sit in his high chair and he'd share a story. So I was reading the internet and I was surfing and I found this story, and it had good bones. But as I prayed on this scripture, I realized that this is much more than a story. If we put some flesh to these bones, this actually becomes a miracle. So can I share the story with you? My granddaddy would sit, he'd rock back and forth, and he might tell this parable like this. Son, long, long ago, there was a lush green garden. And this garden was surrounded by a forest, and it was a paradise on earth, untouched by human hands. And God was so pleased with the growth of this garden that God sent an angel down to earth to interview the plants that were in this forest. And so the angel came down to earth, and the angel went first to a wild plant that was beautiful and green. And the angel said, "Mr. Wild Plant, what do you like about this place? What makes this forest so special?" And the wild plant replied, "I don't like it. I don't like it down here. Nobody cares about a wild plant. Look, we dime a dozen. I want to be spectacular like that gardenia with that beautiful fragrant flower."
All right.
So the angel flew over to talk to the gardenia. "Well, Miss Gardenia, this is such an amazing place. What do you like?" "I don't care for it. I don't care for it at all. All these bugs be flying around me because my flowers smell so good. I just want to be relevant. I just don't want to be a pretty flower. I want fruit. I want to develop something. I want to be like that banana tree over there." So the angel started shaking his head. Oh, the banana tree right there. And the angel went over to the banana tree. And before the angel could talk, the banana tree said, "You from God, ain't you?" "Well, let me tell you so you can tell God all my concerns." And that the banana tree just started complaining to the angel. "You know, God made me with this heavy fruit on my leaves, and it's burning me down. You know, and it hangs heavy on my leaves. And when the wind blows real hard, my trunk is so skinny that I feel like I'm going to snap in two. I wish I could be like that mighty oak over there." Because I heard that 100 years ago, that mighty oak in the middle of that grass field, all by itself, that mighty oak right there was struck by lightning 100 years ago, and because its trunk is so powerful, it survived. I want to be like a mighty oak. So the angel, Doug, I'm telling this story. The angel flew over to the mighty oak, and the mighty oak said, "I heard what all them plants been talking about. When I was a young boy growing up, I pushed really hard so that I could be bigger and more spectacular than the birds.
Yes, sir.
I pushed really hard so that I could bear more fruit than the banana. I pushed really hard so that I could be taller and more powerful than the cedar. And then one day, in the middle of a storm, a lightning bolt came down from the heavens and woke me up. And until that moment, I did not recognize that I was a forest. I was an oak tree planted in God's sanctuary. You asked them what they didn't like, and they said, "I want to be like." No. I said, "No. I want to be with the blade of grass." I want to be with the blade of grass. I want to be with. How many of you all, and this may sound strange to you because when I first encountered this story, it didn't feel right. How many of you all know oak trees with grass mentality? God has blessed you to be big, but something in me says, "No, I want to be small." And Mandela said, "I can't be small all the time because even if I'm a big person and I be small, people will try and step on me when I'm small." But this oak tree said, "I don't want to grow up anymore. I want to grow down and be with the grass." Can about the text? Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm home. So I told you all that this was a song of Asaph. Let me tell you a little bit about Asaph. So Asaph was one of King David's musicians. But Asaph was just not any musician. Asaph was a specialist, Jahari. Asaph was a specialist in the cymbals. And so in order to be a specialist, he had to go to training. He had to go to school. He was the best. He was a Grammy Award-winning cymbal player.
All right.
But not only was he a cymbal specialist, Asaph was also a prophet.
Yeah.
They said Asaph was a seer. And so as a prophet, he was not just any prophet. He had the consciousness and the poetic wit of James Baldwin. And he was a pen-spitting, psalmist, writing person just like Kendrick Lamar. He was not your average person.
Yes, sir.
But after the first